today's video, I'm going to be talking about what I personally want from a new Eminem album. I'm making this video as there's rumours that's supposed to come out in January. If that happens, that'd be great, but this is what I hope to hear from a new Eminem album. First being advertising. Now, sadly, ever since the reception of Revival, Eminem doesn't really announce his albums or put somewhat any advertising out. He somewhat drops them unexpectedly, and it's because of this, some people who want to get ahead of the curve and maybe find out if he actually is dropping a particular week or not, they go to Reddit, and some people claim they have insider knowledge. And because they've predicted one or two things over the years, with Music to be Murdered by Side A and Side B, they are treated as credible sources, and because of that, whenever they give out vague hope, we as fans actually start to cling on to these people, and pulling strings out of fucking nowhere from an Instagram photo from a producer linking it to a possible Eminem album. It's somewhat horseshit, and because people do believe this, Eminem fans somewhat get tricked by this, and it starts to annoy them when this somewhat insider gets his information wrong and it doesn't go into fruition. Now, what I would like Eminem to do is not do a huge advertising way that he did with Revival, but more treat it like how Logic treated No Pressure, and drop an image, announced when it's coming out, maybe a track list here and there. What I would like him to do is start with Monday with the title and the date it comes out. Tuesday, the album art cover with maybe a snippet. Day 3, Wednesday, he drops the track list with a snippet. Thursday, we either get a 15-second preview of a music video, or we get an actual music video. And then Friday, he then drops the actual album. And so he's going to make headlines every single day. People are going to be excited, and for 1 week, fans can be like, oh shit, okay, we know, and get themselves prepared, and somewhat building up an anticipation, which I think is quite good and would be a great way to advertise this new album. What I want from the actual album is stories, as he is one of the best story writers in the rap game, and it's sad to say that he has not been showing off his talents in the last few years. Out of the last 3 albums, it's got to be said that Revival has the best storytelling songs, that being Framed, Castle and A Rose. Not to say the other albums didn't, but comparing it to the ones on Revival, they didn't. Kamikaze had a few subpar ones. Music to be Murdered by did have some good ones, not putting it in any doubt, but they weren't as good as the ones on Revival. And I would love to hear M get back into storytelling mode, but sadly what we do get from him when it is storytelling mode is love songs, which I think many Eminem fans can agree it's a subject matter he has done to death. I think Revival was done a bit too much, and the ones on Kamikaze were very unnecessary. It's understandable why he put them there, but yeah, very unneeded. Music to be Murdered by, the love songs on there on side A were tolerable. They weren't as bad as the ones on Revival, but you could do without them. But the ones on side B, personally, I think are his best. That being Black Magic, Favourite Bitch, and She Loves Me. Definitely the best of his love track. I just want him to dead that subject personally, or if anything, do just one track about love and all that. Now, this is the guy who wrote Stands.
Bitch, I wrote Stand!
So, I don't really care about what the story is. It could be about a person with Down syndrome with a wooden leg who could be called Greg for all I care. I literally don't give a shit. Just give us a new story, some interesting stories. Ever since Recovery, he's kind of had pop stars on his album, which I think he did a good job with Recovery and even a better job with Marshall Mathers LP2, but I think he failed when he tried to do it a third time on Revival, and he had too many pop stars, and to an extent the pop stars were getting more time than he was on songs like Need Me, Tragic Endings and Nowhere Fast. Now, luckily after Kamikaze he's somewhat dead this, but it still lingers around like a bad fart. We still have tracks such as the fucking Ed Sheeran one, Those Kind of Nights. Kind of crap, I'm gonna be honest, and I think if he's gonna have features it should be rappers, or the only two pop star features that I think really do have a great chemistry with Eminem are definitely Skylar Grey. They've done a phenomenal job on each track, and speaking of phenomenal, the singer on that, Liz Rodriguez, who I don't think gets enough credit. She did a great job on Survival, she did a great job on Phenomenal, even though she doesn't get the credit, and she did a great job on Castle, again, a song which she didn't get any credit. Those two pop stars are the only ones that I personally think Eminem really puts his power to the pen when working with them. Feature-wise rappers, I would love to see Eminem work with J. Cole, as the two of them have been giving compliments and shout-outs for the last 5 years. I think it would be a great way to see these two work together. I'd love to see him work with Joey Badass as well, as Joey sampled On the Mic by Eminem on his 1999 EP, I can't remember which particular song. Also JID, a newcomer in the game, who's worked with the likes of J. Cole and Conway the Machine. But as well as a new artist, I'd like to him work with maybe his old crew, D12, as whilst they have broken up, they're still great talented artists. It's a shame we don't get to hear Eminem work with the likes of those guys. Speaking of artists on Shady Records, him and 50 Cent always had great chemistry, and it'd be nice to hear a new track from them. Same with Obi Trice. And as well as mentioning people on Shady Records, it'd be really good, smart, but also cool to see of Eminem to work with his Shady Records artists, as admittedly it has been quite some time since a Shady Records label artist has been on an Eminem album. Not only would it make sense for Eminem to get his artists who are signed to his record label on his album, not only to boost them and get them more sales, but also they're going to be eating off of this album, because as many people know, Eminem still does phenomenal record sales. Even in this type of climate where people just go on Spotify nowadays, he still gets those viewing figures, he still gets the numbers, and these artists are definitely going to eat because of that. So it would be a ridiculous idea not to put them on the album. Now, on to my next subject, beats. People do complain about Eminem beat choices. Now, I'm not really fussed. The only time I've ever really noticed how bad a beat is on Tone Deaf, but I think that was purposely bad, and it did work the joke. But yeah, when it comes to it, I don't really mind Eminem's beat choices. I think he does great with Dr. Dre, Mr. Porter, Royce, and even himself. I think other producers pretty good. DA Got That Dope is not too bad himself. I don't mind his crew. I would like him to work more with Royce and Dre than the others, but apart from that, yeah, I'm happy with it. Outside producers, would be interesting to hear him work more with The Alchemist, and maybe even the RZA. I heard Sean C, the YouTuber, talk about that, and I think he should do it. It'd be interesting. But also, while I was talking about beats, I wish he would change his sound, as, like unabashedly Reggie said, his beats sound too similar to what's already out there. And what's great about Revival is, so what you want about the album, the beats choices weren't terrible. A lot of those beats sounded so different to what was coming out at the time, and that's what made it stand out. Whether you like it or not, it definitely had its own sound. It's a shame that Eminem has somewhat sold that sound away to please fans. Fuck them, go for those beats, they were great. On to speed rap. It's a subject people really do get their panties in a bunch about. Ever since Rap God, which dropped in 2013, everyone claims that that's all he does, even though that is 9 years ago when he was in the game for fucking, 15 years? Anyways, ridiculous argument. And even though, yes, he does do a lot of the speed raps, I think he does a great job at it, and I think he should continue his speed raps. But if he is going to do it, which we all know he's going to, he needs to fucking rap faster. He has to rap faster. You're gonna have to go on Genius to read the lyrics, because you're never gonna understand it. And I want him to say some outlandish shit. So the replay value is definitely on there. And content. Most people complain too much about content when it comes to Eminem. Again, I think as long as he is being his genuine self, he is writing and saying what he wants to say, I can give a fuck. Like, if he wants to make dick jokes because he really wants to make those dick jokes, if he wants to take the piss out of certain celebrities because he genuinely wants to, not because he thinks his fans will like it or that, I want him to be his genuine self. If that's what he's into, that would be great. But yeah, that's what I want from the new Eminem album. I'm lucky if any of what I said actually happens. I hope for at least 30 to 50% actually becomes a reality. If all of it happens, that'd be way too fucking cool. But obviously, Eminem is Eminem. I'm a YouTuber. Hope you watch, hope you enjoy, hope that album comes out.